We still continue our focus on Mozambique as the country will go into elections tomorrow, and the electoral body spokesperson Paul Cuinica joins us now via Skype from Maputo in Mozambique to update us on the preparedness of the country. Mr. Cuinica, very good evening to you. Thank you so much for joining us and welcome to the Globe.
Good evening to all SABC viewers.
It's only a few hours to go now before Mozambicans will be casting their ballots tomorrow. Just how is the state of preparedness for the Electoral Commission?
Thank you very much for this opportunity to share the last stage of the preparedness. We are now finalizing the details in terms of deployment of material and the staff that are going to cover the 20,570 polling stations. We have done training for the staff. I will train it. We really sure that they will handle the process accordingly. We have accredited 41,600 domestic observers, 520 international observers, 3,160 domestic journalists and 103 international journalists, where SABC, of course, is included. We have deployed transportation means, including helicopters, which will be airlifting the material and the staff to the inaccessible sites where the polling stations will be functioning. So in general terms, we are almost there. As I said at the beginning, we're just finalizing the details in terms of deployment.
Now, an advisory about the credible threat of potential violence in Nampula City and Shai has been issued. So what are the hotspots?
We wouldn't like to appoint hotspots. The only place where we have some fears is about the northern part of Cabo Delgado. As you know, there's an insurgency, but our defense forces have assured us that the security will be guaranteed for deployment of our staff and material, as well as for the process of voting. And therefore, we trust that everything will go well in that area. We also have some problems in the central part of the country where there is a split between the Renam political party, where some military have not joined the process of demobilization. And therefore, there are some fears because 2 weeks back to now, there have been some shootings in terms of attacking trucks and buses, but ultimately we haven't heard much about these threats. As I said, our materials have been deployed. We are finalizing the process of deployment. Yesterday, the material had left the provincial capitals, the district capitals, and these materials are now being deployed to the polling stations. And therefore, we think that the process is secure, is not threatened, and everything will go well. In terms of Gaza, probably this fears because there was a shooting where one of the local observers was shot dead, but the police has managed to catch 2 of the perpetrators. So we believe that the police will do its work and the electoral process will go.
I want us to talk about the deployment of the voter material to some of the places in the context of accessibility in a moment. But the mystery over the murder of the head of local observer mission in that country, Mr. Anastasio Matavele, it has brought a cloud of fear within the local and the international observer mission with regards to their safety. As a matter of fact, some of the political pundits there have said that his murder sends a strong warning and a message that the Gaza province especially is a no-go area for the local observer team. So this, of course, has thrust a cloud of doubt with regards to whether the elections will be free and fair.
Shouldn't, because right now we have 830 domestic observers deployed in Gaza. We have 82 international observers who are in Gaza, are spread all over the province, and therefore we don't think that Gaza will be a problem.
So is there safety guaranteed, though?
Yet the government, especially the Minister of Police, has guaranteed that the security will be there, and therefore we are sure that everything will go well.
Now, the voter stations are so far-flung and some of the roads to some of the areas are in a terrible state. Just how confident are you of an impressive voter turnout?
There are some rumors of people leaving the residential areas, and that's in the central region. But we find that most of the people are still there, and we believe that they are going to vote. What makes us believe that they are going to vote? First, because we had the best registration ever since the multi-party elections have been introduced in 1994. This was the highest registration we have achieved, which represented 91.3% of the voters that had been forecasted of 14 million. And therefore, we believe that all this enthusiasm will continue until the voting.
So will the gravity of the violence, Mr. Cuinica, will the gravity of the violence that we see, make the elections credible?
The violence, we wouldn't say that this was the most violent election, in fact, in campaign in general terms. Looking at the past, what happened is that we had a big toll of deaths caused mostly by traffic accidents involved in the campaign. And therefore, it's not all true that this was the most violent campaign if we look at the past and what happened in the past.
So when can we expect results?
Result is from the district level, we get the results 3 days after. Until 3 days after, 72 hours after. And at the provincial level, we expect the results to come out 5 days after the voting closure. And for the National Electoral Commission, 15 days after the closing. And therefore, in 2 weeks' time, we'll have the official result. I would like to say that even well before the official announcement of the results, we'll have the parallel voting tabulation, which the organizations of civil society are allowed to perform, as well as the media will be performing this parallel counting, and therefore, when the official results come out, by then we'll know what will the results be.
Mr. Cuinica, thank you so much for your update. Much appreciated. That was Mozambique Electoral Commission spokesperson Paul Cuinica speaking to us live via Skype.